Hi and welcome back to Softtonic.com, where today we are looking at Magic Duels Origins, which is the latest installment of the Magic the Gathering card game on mobile, and soon will be on Steam also. I'm Alex and I'm just going to walk you through this. Now, I have some experience with Magic the Gathering to the point that I know the basics, and I didn't really need to go through the tutorial, but I did, and it's very rounded and well laid out. So rather than walking you through every aspect of this, although I will explain what I'm doing for newcomers, I'm just going to explain what this game does new, what it's doing well compared to previous digital versions of the game, and just let you know that if you are unfamiliar with Magic the Gathering, this thing will teach you how to play with little quests that pop up at contextually the right moment. Now, what I'm going to start with is laying down mana. That's like the basic energy you have for the game. The more mana you put down, the more you play. And this is the end of the opening set of levels that you have to play through. I'm playing with a pure white deck. People who play Magic will know what that means. And that's just what you go through this introduction with. As you can see, I'm actually playing, well, what you can't see is I'm playing this on an iPhone, but everything handles quite well. I mean, it is quite a small font across the board. Things like the skip attack and attack with all, as you can see there, you do need good eyesight for. But the cards themselves, they are, if you double tap, you get them up a nice resolution that makes them easy enough to read. Granted, it would look nicer on iPad where they might actually look the size of a card, but they do their job well here. Now I can play creature cards because I had the mana, as I previously did, and after the first turn they can be used to attack, and I am going to use that to attack this character. Simple Dragon Pull. Simple Dragon Pull will initiate the attack and then confirm attack to execute. Now, one thing that is odd playing this, and of course technically when you're playing the game you can't take things back, because once you've declared or shown the card it has to be used. But that is a very strict rule here. So the one advantage, that's a disadvantage in terms of while you're learning, but it is an advantage in terms of really setting the way the game plays, which can be very useful. It avoids all of those conflicts that occur around rules. Now, my opponent here is going to play a Brain Maggot, which I can pull up and see what it does. Now he's going to get to look at my card and exile a card from my hand away from my cards, away from my graveyard, so I won't be able to bring it back into play at any point, which is a shame because I know which one he's going to take, which is the Banisher Priest, because he's very handy, and then he's also going to attack. Now generally, if you look at the bottom of the screen there, you've got a continue, so you have to like accept that you've seen the card, that you're ready to continue playing, and anything that can be played the game will highlight. Now this is again another aspect of the game that is really outlining the rules to make it a lot clearer for you and easier for you to see exactly what you've got to do at each step and what it's possible to do at each step. As you can see there's only one card I can play, which is an Aura, which I've put on the pitch, put on the field of battle, as it were. I will enchant it and increase the power of my characters. There's the skip attack, or I can attack with all, which I will select and then execute that, and my opponent can choose to block, but my characters are now all safe. It is very intuitive, the tap and drag interface, the options you have on how to attack are generally quite good, although on the iPhone, if you don't want to attack with all and you want to find a specific card that you don't want and you've got a line of a great many creatures on the battlefield, it can prove a little tricky then. But otherwise it's feeling very intuitive, and what it automates for you really does make everything feel a lot simpler. Now at the moment all I've really got in the deck are cards that can be played as I go, for want of a better term. In the right phase of each turn. There's a main phase, an attack phase, and then another chance to play a card, which this guy is now taking advantage of, having attacked me. We'll have a look at that. A Grim Guardian, a constellation effect. Whenever Grim Guardian or another enchanted creature enters the battlefield you control, each opponent loses 1 life, which in this case is going to be me losing 1 life, as my character off to the right there shows. The other thing I can do is, you see that little stop timer. Now this does slow the rate of play, especially when you're playing the computer, because if you don't want to do anything you can't skip it. but in the actual game, that is basically a way of suspending everything, so you can look through your cards and see if you've got a card that can be played instantly, an instant as they're known. You have the option to hold play and look for it. Now, as you see here, I've got a character with double strike and flying, both of which are very useful abilities because it means he gets to attack twice in a turn, and flying means he can't be blocked, and this one gives a +1. Now that wouldn't end him, so I will bring out this chap here. Oh no, I don't have the ability to do so. And both of those are too expensive for me with my current mana. The one thing you will spot, though, which is a shame because I can't actually bring it onto the picture, if you do put on somebody with special abilities, they're marked with very clear indicators, very clear icons. I'm just going to attack with all again. And those clear icons make it easy to see, even on the small screen, exactly what's going on. They're bright, they're colourful, and they are very distinct. It's not flawless, certainly, but it does give it does mean that even when you're looking at this tiny little screen here, you can get away with not being able to see every card's individual rule set that's written on them and just going for it. And now we'll just concede duel we'll get out of this. Yep. So the Origins kind of stories actually takes you back. These are some of the iconic Planeswalkers who, in the Magic universe, you are a Planeswalker. But there are also like storied ones, and this tells of how they progressed to be Planeswalkers. Let's have a quick look at battle mode. I'd have to play a skill quest to unlock this. That's it, skill quest. That's the name of the tutorial mode. And then that allows me to play versus battles, solo battles against other people, or for the first time, two-headed giant, which allows two players to square off against two other players with a shared health bar. That's the first time this appeared, and it's a really nice addition to the game. Now, when you start, this is I can't stress enough that this is a great way for newcomers to Magic to get into the game. Everything can be unlocked for free, much like any Magic game or any Magic, like playing it physically. I haven't explained that very well. You build your deck by buying new cards. Now, you can earn credit in this game to unlock cards, and everything's frozen. Now I have 300 coins, so I'll buy 2 booster packs. Now the booster packs are a bit smaller than in real life. A booster pack tends to be about 15 cards in the real world. Here it's only 6, but you get a good spread, and by slowly earning coins and doing this, you can gain access to everything that's in the game. Nothing is gated. Now you can pay to unlock more or unlock boosters faster, but you get everything there, and it really is everything. I mean, I got a Mythic, which is the highest class of card, just through one of my opening booster packs. You also get a starter pack, which gives you like all the basics you need to begin playing, and that's ideal just to get you started. And then these booster packs, which run on quite quickly, start to flesh that out and give you more options. Now, as you see there, we've got 4 basic. Is it 4? No, so you get 3 basic cards, 2 silvers, and then a mythic or a rare. And who have I got? I've got this guy, who's my rare card, who is Talent the Telepath. And it's a blue, and I tend to play blue decks, so I'm quite happy with that. Now, card collection. This shows you your digital collection of cards, which is very handy. Now, it's a shame that it's very handy to have this if you're a Magic fan. It obviously lets you play on the go, play with people without carrying everything with you, and build your deck. The disadvantage of that, obviously, is that it means you're going to end up building 2 decks of everything if you're buying them physically and digitally, if that's the path you want to go, if you want to have the convenience and the fun of the tactile game. Now, I currently have 1 deck, which is useless. I tried to go a bit too deep into what I wanted to play, which is the blue-black deck early on. I know this is all a bit deep, but it's going to get to the most important part, which is there is now a wizard to help you construct your decks, which we're going to do now with a slightly more simple deck. I'm going to create a new deck. You can completely do it from scratch, or you can call upon, like I say, this deck wizard, and you can pick within that their recommended classes. Now this is based, I suspect, partially on what you have, what cards you have, to make it a bit easier. I went with From the Grave and ran into the problem that I didn't really have the cards to back it up, but they are recommending these ones. So being somebody, tried the white and black before, but I think, because I know I've got better cards in blue, I think I'm going to go with Control the Sky, which is a blue and white deck. So hitting create deck takes you to the wizard, and it in a game of Magic, I think it's just under, it used to be 60 cards, I think they might have changed it, or maybe it was 50, it's been a while since I played. It gives you the kind of basic structure. Now, I am going to have a lot of flying cards in this, but the first thing I need to do, like the backbone of my deck, is flying creatures, and as you see there at the bottom, it recommends that I have 12 creatures in here, and I will have some free choice later, but for the moment, just hit. You can either go through and select the ones you want. It's a bit expensive. I'd rather have something cheaper. Still expensive. This could be a problem. I think they're all quite expensive. Yep. This is the issue I run into. I don't seem to have many cheap cards. And you can either tap, add there, or drag and drop again. I don't have many cheap cards in my deck in terms of cheap mana cost, which is a problem because it means I'll start the game and I'll very often not be able to play a card for a couple of rounds because you can only play one piece of mana a turn. As you see there, it's just picked the cheapest of everything for me, and they're all white. And these are my more powerful creatures for ground attacks. I know this guy's quite powerful. I've only got one of him. He was a special one, and then I'm just going to hit autocomplete again, making sure I get that in. So I could just hammer my way through autocomplete, which I may well do, in fact. One thing that I am noticing is that it's quite hard to select cards that aren't visible here. You can go through these, the recommended ones, but until you seem to have gone through them all, there's no way of moving them off. Oh, one other mention, you can make any of your cards foil by paying. So yeah, make them all foil for 5, which is just a nice touch for fans of the real game. Again, we'll just go autocomplete. Does mean I'm not going to get my Jace in my deck, I suspect. It is quite an intensive game. You will need at least an iPhone 5, maybe an iPhone 5S, I think, actually, to play it. Or one of the more recent iPads. So that is something to bear in mind. Oh, there we go. That's a bit easier. Now I've got Jace there. I want to put him in. Ooh, if I skip that, probably not a good thing. I did skip that. That was a mistake. Oh, step complete. There we go. It's auto-built it. It's showing me the cards I've got. And then it'll also sort out lands for you to make sure you have the right blend of your deck. So that is a very quick walkthrough of all the features of this new Magic Duels Origins, and I'm really enjoying the convenience of it. I don't think I'm going to get back into Magic deeply because of it, but now when I want to play a game, I don't have to go and find somebody. I can either play the computer, I can play other people online, or I've still got my deck at home that I can play with if I fancy. But hopefully that's given you a good outline as to what the new Magic game is like. I recommend it for both newcomers and seasoned players. Seasoned players might get a bit bored. You don't have to do the tutorial, but it does get you extra coins to unlock boosters, and you do have to play some of the kind of opening stories to unlock the later modes. They unlock quite quickly. You don't have to play that much, but it is a bit of a chore if all you want to do is get into playing online. Plus, of course, you have to build your deck, which can cost a lot of money because it is, I think, about $2 for maybe a bit more than that actually. It's £1.50 on mine because I'm on the English App Store for 6 cards, which it's going to add up quickly if you start buying a lot, and obviously you can't buy specific cards you want, so you will have to build your deck randomly. Okay, that's it for this time, and I will see you soon for more games on Soft Tonic.